In today's video, we're going to check out the most realistic political roleplay that Bloxburg has to offer. This video is a part of my roleplay review series, for which you can find a playlist for on my channel. First, I'm going to give you some information about the roleplay, and then I'm going to go inside the roleplay and give you some first-hand information of what it's like to be in the roleplay. BUSA was founded by BUSA Donald Trump back in 2017, and it's a political roleplay based on American politics, which is altered and situated within the game of Bloxburg. One of the coolest parts about BUSA is all the different buildings that they have. So they have the White House, they have the Washington Monument, I think there's the Pentagon, and then I also know they have tons of different military ships as well. Mind you, these aren't just bad builds, these are all like super highly detailed, like good builders making these, so it's really cool in that aspect. So they have all these different buildings, but they also have the legislative, executive, and judicial branches to go along with the buildings and actually roleplay. The White House hosts executive sessions where they have press briefings and they meet with the president and talk with like congressional leaders and everything. And then the Senate and House also hold sessions where they vote on bills and pass like legislative stuff, whatever they do in Congress. Now the courts aren't as active, but that's mostly because there's not always a court case going on. But whenever there's a court case going on, it's a pretty big deal in BUSA, so everyone gets together and goes to the court and actually participates in the roleplay in that way. Pretty much monthly, they also have community events which are open to the public, I'm pretty sure, in their Bloxburg neighborhood, which is pretty active usually. I was told they have around 140 citizens that are in the roleplay, but in my opinion, it looks like there's only like about half of those people that actually participate in the roleplay, open businesses, participate in government, and actually vote in the elections and stuff like that. So I'd say it's probably like 70 people that are actually in the roleplay. There are over 20 different businesses in BUSA, which are pretty much just Bloxburg companies that are registered under the Bloxburg United States of America. For example, in my last roleplay review, we looked at Wendy's, which is a company that's registered inside of BUSA, so it's one of the many BUSA businesses. If you haven't already, go check out that video, it was really good. There's lots of different things you could do inside of BUSA. For example, you could work at a company like Wendy's, or you could go and make your own company and compete with them. Then you could also vote in elections, you could get government positions. There's like the Secretary of Commerce if you want to be that, and run all the BUSA businesses. That's a job that you could do. Or you could be the head of the military, which is like the general or whatever. You can start political movements and groups, just like the Boycott Bloxburg thing. You could do that in BUSA, but for like a government cause if you want to. Or you could just go to their seasonal events, which they have pretty much monthly. You can go to like their Memorial Day event, their 4th of July event, or like Halloween, Christmas. They have them for pretty much all the different holidays. But really, there's something for everyone. It's literally like America, but on Bloxburg. They even have news companies that do things like the vice presidential debates with VC, so it's kind of interesting in that way. I'll throw in a little clip here so you can get a feel for what it's like to actually view one of these.
Good evening, and welcome back to the vice presidential debate. I'm Kingston Ranlett with CNN, and we will now continue to regular questioning. I welcome the candidates back out to the debate stage.
Well, the Supreme Court is meant to be apolitical. I'm not sure if it will remain that way with this. I do agree with Mr. Cromwell. This is going to be political and is going to change the balance of power. That's why I personally believe that we should work towards getting someone who is qualified for the role as fast as possible. I do not believe that we should sit on our ass and wait for someone. We need to get qualified individuals into position. That is the current state of our country. We are inactive. We are unready. We need to build back.
Secretary, I'm going to ask you to please watch your language.
I'm sorry.
On the debate stage.
I'm sorry.
Senator, you can respond.
First off, I would like to address Mr. Parker's language. It has been unethical to come onto this stage and speak like you're at some random roadhouse enjoying some barbecue. That's not what this is. This is a debate for the vice presidency of the United States, and you should act like it.
Senator Cromwell.
So that was just a little clip from like the hour-long debate that they had talking about all of BUSA's issues, but I do think it's still important to bring a little bit of professionalism to the table and like general knowledge of politics, especially if you're going to try to fit in the roleplay, because they do talk about like real-life politics a lot, so that's kind of important. I've also held many roles in the roleplay, and one of my most prominent ones was being the press secretary for the president, which is pretty much like the White House spokesperson, so I'll throw in a little clip from that as well. The Department of Defense is currently overseeing the construction of the Pentagon, which will be one of the largest office buildings in the world, committed to completing the project on time and within the budget, while also ensuring that the new facility meets the highest standards for safety and security. For more information on the Pentagon's construction, I direct you to the Department of Defense.
CNN has a question about foreign affairs. How does the White House and currently the president plan continue foreign affairs, especially with the threatening of relations with France and Ireland?
As of now, we want to be isolated and focus on our domestic affairs. We have lots of issues here at home that the voters are concerned about. Foreign affairs can come later. Not only do they just have government stuff, but they also just have regular news.
Miss Shonda, a West Family endorsed candidate, is running for Senate. Shonda, born from a single home, built her life up on politics and fundraisers.
So the roleplay is almost entirely ran out of their Bloxburg Discord server, which I'll leave a link to in the description down below if you do want to join. But all the channels here pretty much sum up what they do. So here are the server announcements. The roleplay announcements channel pretty much shows anything that's happening in the country. So like if there's an issue, for example, the water dispute that's going on right now, it'll tell you about the GDP, the level of alertness in the country. It'll tell you about the event happening, etc, etc, etc. It's super detailed and realistic. The election channel was pretty self-explanatory. This was the electoral map like last year, I'm pretty sure. And then this is the winner of the election. It pretty much just calculates where people live and based off that who they voted for. You can find jobs pretty easily using the federal advertisements channel, which shows all the government jobs you can get, and then the business job, and then any political party advertisements they have are located here. All right. There's channels for every branch of government, including the White House, Congress, Judiciary, and then they have channels for each sector of the executive branch, which is like the Treasury, Defense, Justice, Interior, Commerce, etc. They talk politics in the main chat all day long, so if you're interested in that, you can join literally just for that. Pretty much everyone in the roleplay has a Twitter account, but the main Twitter account here is BUSA President, which has over 4,000 followers. Anytime the president hosts an event like the White House Turkey Thanksgiving pardoning ceremony from last year, he posts the pictures after the event here, so here's everyone that went and pretty much what happened. And then anytime he signs a bill or nominates someone to a position, here's some signing bills on his desk. Pretty much all of his like updates and stuff are going to be posted here on his Twitter account. Here's him voting, but pretty much it's just pictures. Everything he does is going to be put up on this Twitter account. I'll leave a link to his Twitter account in the description down below because this is a pretty important piece to the roleplay. On top of the Discord server and the Twitter, there are trellos which have tons of information about the roleplay and different aspects of it. For example, this is the Bloxburg United States Senate database, which has all the information about the Senate, who's in it, and the bills and stuff that they pass in it. There's one for the legislatures, the Federal Bar Association, which is like the courts pretty much, and then they have one for the Department of Commerce and Labor. So any business that's registered is going to be here. It'll have the department's staff, resources, and then the National Archives and Records Administration also has all their stuff listed here, which is like all the bills and stuff that's been passed, inaugurations from the past, etc. Now I'm left with 5 ratings to give BUSA: activity, realism, build, fun, and then a combined general rate. For activity, I would give BUSA an 8. It really just depends on what people's positions are at the time that you're in the roleplay, and then also what things are happening in the roleplay, if there's like a crisis or inflation or whatever the case may be. It also depends on who the vice president is, because that's like the highest position you can get in BUSA, and if they're not good at their job, then it's going to affect the whole roleplay. And then really just what you make of your time there. If you're not really participating in the roleplay, it's not going to seem as active as it is if you would be doing things in it. For realism, I would definitely give BUSA a 10. It's very realistic to like real life US politics, and then everyone there is pretty professional and like mature and stuff, so definitely be prepared for that. If you're going to join, you gotta have some sort of professionalism or like know something about like real life government. But everyone is pretty friendly, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Builds, I definitely give USA a 9. They're very detailed, and they probably have some of the best builders in Bloxburg in the roleplay, but I do wish they used more of the buildings in game, but I guess that doesn't really affect the rating that much, so I'd give them a 9. For fun, I give BUSA an 8. It really fluctuates based on the time of the roleplay. Usually elections are very fun, but there are some downtimes in between those where it can get a little boring. It really does depend though on like what you make of the roleplay and what you're actually doing. So all of those ratings combined bring BUSA's total or general rating to 8.75. Alright, so today's Flag Day and BUSA is holding an event for it. So pretty much they have this big venue. This is a memorial. I'll figure out what memorial it is in just a second. But behind us, they're talking, so I want to get to like the speeches and stuff. But yeah, I'm here at Flag Day. All right, so they got tables sitting out here, and then they have the president. He's sitting up there. I think the vice president is over there as well. And then there's some people sitting over here. I don't know who these people are, but they're at the event. Oh, I need perm. He says, I would like to thank VP of the United States for letting me speak here and for hosting this event. I think this is just like a service member. He's probably in the Department of Defense. Maybe he's like Navy, Army. I'm not sure. Oh, I think it says it on here. Oh, no, that's just his name, Hall, General Hall. All right, so this is the president, President Trump here, and then this is Vice President North. I'm not sure exactly who this person is because I don't have my usernames on, but I'm sure he's like got like a high role in government or something like that. All right, I looked up the memorial, and I think it's called the Iwo Jima Marine Corps War Memorial. I think that's what it is, but I know this is the correct image here. So these are pretty much Marines like implanting the flag in the ground, and then they just recreated it here on, well, on blocks. It's actually pretty detailed though. I like what they did with the lights in the back as well. In some ways, this event is different than other events that BUSA does, because really all they're doing here is some speeches and giving some news about the roleplay, but other than that, there's really not much going on. For things like the inauguration, when our new president is getting sworn in, or something like that nature, there's going to be much more stuff happening, more people will come, and it's going to be much more activity and like events and stuff like that. For bigger events, the president's going to have his motorcade, and there's going to be security, etc. Now, my personal favorite events to go to in BUSA are the DoD events or the Department of Defense, which is pretty much like they'll have like a Navy ship or like some sort of operation. Maybe we'll be saving people from like a hurricane or like doing FEMA operations. I don't know. It really could be anything, but like stuff where we're actually doing stuff, which they do pretty often on BUSA. All right, now the VP is speaking. He has a whole speech to give up here. God bless our troops and God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engines. Now we just introduced President Donald Trump to the podium, so he's gonna, I guess, do a speech now.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and flag enthusiasts everywhere, happy Flag Day.
Today is the day we celebrate that piece of fabric that we proudly wave. This is totally something that Donald Trump would say in real life. Be sure to check out BUSA in the link in the description down below. And to check out the rest of the roleplay review series, check out the tab on my channel. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you all did enjoy. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. And with that, I will see you all in the next one.